Hello, everyone. Welcome to my podcast. I am your host, Medusa Asadem, here to give Virgos a general reading. Keep in mind, Virgos, this is a general reading, so it may or may not resonate with you. And also, this reading will be timeless. I will be pulling energies from the past, present, and future, so just take it however it resonates, only if it resonates. Virgos, if you're interested to see what the cards have in store for you, then definitely stay tuned. Hello, Virgos. So we are here with a general reading for you guys. All right. I then pulled you guys' astro dice. You guys have Jupiter in third house. We'll dig deeper into that. But first, let's get over and done with the introductions here. Okay. So first, we'll start off by pulling the external energies that may be affecting you, that by ways of people, places, or things, situationships, relationships, partnerships, soloships. And although throughout the reading I may pull a particular zodiac sign, it may represent you, person of interest, timeline, or influence. So do check your houses if you are into that sort of thing. Make sure you read the description box of the episode so you know everything you need to know. And understand I'm just a regular person who loves to pull cards and interpret it to the best of my abilities. So don't ever feel obligated to listen to anything I say. Do your own research, okay? And so yeah, disclaimer as well, you're going to hear some noise in the background. I got some kids in my backyard. They're playing with my kids, and it is what it is. I got the door open so that I can be able to see and stuff like that. And so, yes, I do hope that this doesn't distract you or anything like that. And if it does get too cray-cray, I will stop it and just tell them, guys, keep it a little bit down. But, they're outside. They're playing. It's the summertime, and, they're enjoying yourself. So I hope you guys don't mind. Okay? So, yes, I kind of got a little distracted with that. And so I just wanted to make sure I said that. So back to what we were talking about. So for the astro dice, we pulled for you guys Virgo, Jupiter, third house. Okay, so third house, that's connected to Gemini energy. That's all about being sociable. That's all about communication, transportation, analytics, listening, problems, and delays. Okay, but the fact that it's Jupiter, okay, this is Jupiter in the third house. Jupiter is very much expansive, very much taking risks, and all about that luck and positivity. Okay, and so immediately I felt this need to say that someone is making a proposal of some sort. Okay, and a person is feeling really lucky in regards to how things will be able to transpire moving forward. Okay, we're going to pull some cards to kind of get a little bit deeper into what this is all about. Okay, so let's see what's going on for Virgos. What is going on for Virgos? So we start off, the first card that flips over is this energy of readiness, okay? A longing to experience, right? Dealing with the imagination, right? That can be stemmed from shattered dreams in the past, okay? So let's see what's going on here. It's like despite the situation, there is this fearlessness, this feeling of strength, right? And feeling of protection, right? It's like, I can do this regardless of what has happened in the past. I'm ready. I deserve this, okay? I mean well when I say this. Okay. So let's see what else is going on here. Let's get some more cards for Virgos. All right. We also have here Simbi here. So I'm using the Voodoo Tarot deck to pull the external energies, okay? So with this Simbi tarot deck, it talks about magic being used, okay? So it's applied force for a petty end, okay? And this card is more so on the lines of just acknowledging that simplicity is better, okay, when it comes down to this situation, all right? And then we end this here, okay, with a bit of a loss, okay, some defeat here, but there's bravery that is needed, right, to get through an unfavorable outcome, okay? So let's see what's going on here, okay? We start off here with Daughter of Pentacles. Okay, Daughter of Pentacles. And I want to say that it was in the reverse. I do feel like I flipped it in a particular way to make it upright, but we'll play with both energies here. All right, so the Daughter of Pentacles to me is that Capricorn energy is a very much successful card, right? But the fact that I'm questioning whether or not it's in the reverse, it could be a reflection or in relations to a person questioning their ability to succeed at something, to be able to plant the seed, right? And then believe, okay, or know, or feel like they're capable of maintaining the soil and all that stuff like that in order for the seed to grow and to prosper and to bear fruit. Okay, let's see here. Let's get some clarity here with this card. Let's get some clarity here with this card. And also, too, what's coming through as I'm, just kind of further pondering on this card is this energy for some as well, where they feel as if like it's kind of the opposite in a sense that a person thinks that they are, like it's like they're making some kind of gamble of some sort, right? Where it's just like, okay, I'm gonna put it all on the, I'm gonna put it all on the table kind of thing, and just feeling as if like, yeah, I'm gonna make this, I'm gonna bet big and I'm gonna win big type thing. That can be a bit of a difficult situation here as well, because it's like there is no true guarantee to certain things, you know what I'm saying? And so there you will kind of have these instances, right, where it's like, oh, like a person decides to go big and do stuff, and then they lose out, right? They deal with losses or whatever. All right, so, or a person this may be something that happened in the past, and then they're dealing with the situation now. So it's like, how do I get out of that funk? We have here the Devil card. Okay, so Capricorn energy as well. Okay, I feel like with this Devil here, it's this energy of acknowledging or recognizing some of the attachments that we hold, and in that act of us, or the initiative of us acknowledging, right, then we are then able to set ourselves free. Okay, the attachments can be, contracts, binds, things that we're bounded to, right? Obligations, relationships, behaviors, beliefs, right? Whatever it is that we are holding on to, that we were meant to kind of endure temporarily, but it's like overstaying, like it's welcome, right, in this particular reading. Okay, so it's this energy where it's just like, I know I should have like did that a long time ago, or dropped it a long time ago, or I should have learned this lesson a long time ago, I should have been beyond this a long time ago, that kind of thing. All right, so let's keep going. All right, so what we have here is 10 of Pentacles. So it could be this energy here where it's like whatever it is that a person is trying to manifest, and they're spending a lot of their times and their days investing on that thing, right? Not to say that betting big is always going to be proven, to have a negative outcome. No, it's more so along the lines of knowing when to bet big on, certain things. Okay, so if it's a situation where a person finds himself constantly going to the horse race and betting on that same horse, and every single time that horse loses, or whatever the case may be, it's like old habits die, like what is that saying? Old habits die hard, or something like that, where it's like this feeling that a person is attached to, where they're like, well, if I don't, like, if I sorry, they're gonna, they're so loud. Like if they it's like some kind of superstition of some sort as well, where it's like, oh, if I don't do it this way, then, what if this be the time that it wins and then it doesn't? This is not the advice portion, please. This is just the energies that I'm pulling, okay? So the advice comes afterwards. But it really feels like that. And it also feels like for some, it could be this energy of having other people tied to it as well, right? So it's not just like a personal situation. It's like a group of people that has been like invested in it, right? So it's kind of like those movies where like they have a person like who's trying to start some kind of company or sell some kind of product, and then they have all these backers and stuff like that, and then they're like, okay, at this point, like I'm ready to kind of like back out of the deal. And it's like, oh no, like this is it. It's kind of like, what was the Wonder Woman movie that came out not too long ago, where it was like the guy who had the museum or something like that. And it's kind of like that situation for some, right? But if it's not that, it's just this energy here where it's like a lot of people are investing either their time or their energy or their anticipation on something. And so it's like that kind of like energy, okay? So what is the challenge here? What is the challenge? What's the challenge here? What's the challenge? Okay, so the challenge here, okay, we got the Two of Pentacles, Temperance, and the Ace of Pentacles. So it's this energy here of trying to maintain things that are like broken, right? Instead of being able to kind of be more intuitive, be more in that space of like feeling the, vibe, like feeling things out, right? And then we have the Ace of Pentacles here in order to receive a profitable, product or a profitable end, right? Or to meet a profitable end, right? So it's this energy, for some, it could be whatever, like kind of whatever ways like a person is kind of going about doing things, right? That really feels like mishandling or whatever. With this Temperance Sagittarius energy, it feels like a person is not learning from these patterns here. Okay, and they're it just really feels along the lines of like whatever it is that a person is thinking or whatever way that a person is kind of like doing things. It's like they're not in tune with the times or with the shift, right? With the shift or the change that is happening in the atmosphere. And so it's this energy here where it's just like not being able to read the room or assess, right, the vibe, right, or assess the energy, right? So if we get back to that same example, and it's just an example of the person, gambling on, at a horse race, right? It's not picking up on the signs that, the horse had a bad day, or the horse had a bad practice, or the horse has a limp. You know what I'm saying? Or the new jockey or whatever you would call them, right? It's a new person. So the connection between the horse and the jockey, right? It's not, it's not set in stone kind of thing, right? It's like any kind of like indications that, people call red flags these days, right? It's just not being hip to that, not being aware to that, not being able to, utilize that to shift, right, the way a person is thinking or the way a person is going about doing things, right, in order to get out of that, funk or whatever the case may be. Okay. And this could also, too, be a personal thing as well, where a person, once again, like we were saying before, where a person genuinely can't get themselves past the point of being able to recognize that they have the ability to attract what it is that they're trying to attract, right? But it's, once again, it's the behavior, it's how a person is doing, like what a person is doing and how they're going about things that needs to be a little bit, have some change, right? With this Two of Pentacles, and being able to maintain a good rhythm. It's like having a good rhythm and maintaining that good rhythm, right? So that things can start to, blossom and bloom, okay? All right, overcoming the challenge. All right, so overcoming the challenge, we have the Magician here in the reverse. And so to me, it really comes about as like irresponsibility, okay, that takes place. So borrowing money, okay, I'm also getting the energy here as well, where it's like, oh, like you owe me money or whatever the case may be. Like, I know I'm like sticking to one narrative here, but just in any way, shape, or form, this Magician in the reverse really feels like running out of resources. And so there's a lack thereof. And because of that lack, it produces this vulnerable state of insecurity. Okay. And like how a person starts to act, when they're in that state of mind. Okay. Right? Yeah, it's like pointing fingers type thing. All right, and the what here, we have the Four of Pentacles. So there goes that lack thereof. But it's like trying to maintain that, okay? And that lack thereof could be finances. It could be resources. It could be, in regards to just a feeling, right? So that lack thereof and that bringing about insecurity can cause a person to want to continue to gamble or become addicted to that whole gambling thing or that get rich quick kind of thing, or just the idea of chasing money or chasing a relationship or chasing whatever it is that a person is trying to chase, that a person just really feels kind of tied to. We have the Five of Cups, and so the Five of Cups talks about losses, okay? But it's the kind of losses that is stemmed from it's the kind of building, right? Building blocks that stems from the foundation of loss. Okay, so it's like picturing building a house on a weak foundation, right? And so there is ambition to build a beautiful house because there's the excitement or whatever the case may be. But it's like something can kind of come through, whether that's Mother Nature or just in itself, it can collapse. Okay. All right, so we have here the Three of Cups. Okay. So to me, it kind of comes across as rebrand, like it's like some kind of like not necessarily, well, like it does feel like a rebranding, but it's more so along the lines of trying to build new relationships on top of the not so great relationships, right? So it's like if you have kind of like a negative negative connections or maybe negative deals or whatever in the past, right? And it's kind of like like it really feels like a rebrand where it's like, okay, I'm telling a new story kind of thing, where it's like instead of just kind of like dealing with the foundation that was already laid out, right, to improve it and to make it better. It's this energy here where it's like moving to another state and trying to build a new foundation there, where it's like, okay, like a person doesn't necessarily, because they don't acknowledge, right, where things may have went wrong in building the foundation, they'll repeat those same mistakes. And then that's where we have the Ace of Swords here, where it's like it presents like kind of the challenge once again, in order for a person to get down to the nitty-gritty truth and recognize it and see it for what it is, so that they can work on that with this Eight of Pentacles. Okay. And so like for some, it's also what's also coming through here where it's like, okay, like a bad deal or like a bad relationship. And then it's like, oh, I couldn't fix that relationship, or it's like, oh, that relationship didn't do so well. And so it's this energy of trying to do better within the next relationship. But once again, it's this energy here where it's like, okay, I need to recognize how, I kind of lost in those situations, so that I can know how I can do better within this next situation. Okay. Because then we'll find ourselves repeating the same cycle, Let's see, in the past, we have here the 9 of Wands in the reverse. Okay, the Ace of Wands and then the 6 of Wands. Okay, so yeah, like it feels like like it feels like kind of like leaving, right? Not necessarily doing the work, doing the hard diligent work of completing a cycle, right? Seeing it through to the end and then finally closing that chapter. Instead, it's this energy of getting this idea, right, to go to a place or a space where it's just like, yeah, like, well, I'm just gonna go somewhere else, or go to somebody else who accepts me or appreciates me, or like somewhere new. It's like a new beginning kind of thing, where it's just like, okay, but like for some, they believe that the past catches up to you and all that stuff like that. So that could be, some kind of situation, some kind of, reoccurrence that could come through. Okay, let's see here. Heart space in the upside down. We have the 3 of Pentacles. Okay, so it's this energy of camaraderie, working together, right? Building together. Okay, laying firm foundations. Okay, and then we have here the Hermit. So it's this energy of I work alone kind of thing. It's very much a self-centered kind of situation, right? That keeps a person from being able to make sound connections, and whether that is like in regards to like relationships or business or whatever. But it's making the proper connections, right? The solid connections where there's loyalty, respect, honor, like those kinds of things, within the connection. And for some, it can also too be a reliance as well, that kind of keeps a person from being able to see, right? We got the Hermit, so Virgo energy. So to actually really see what lies within, right? When it comes down to ourselves. And for some, what's coming through as well is the reliance on making connections, even if it's not great connections, because a person is unwilling to really kind of tap into themselves to discover whatever it is that they need to discover in regards to reasons why a person may move the way that they move. Okay. So in the heart space in the upright, we have here Mother of Cups, Cancer energy. Okay. Okay, and then we have here Justice, so Libra energy. So this is all about these kind of connections here. Connections that like we may have like created, and the need to kind of nurture these connections that that were already laid out, so that moving forward, the connections moving forward can be more solid. Okay, and so it's this energy here where it's like, oh, this is just an example where it's like a mother is not able to be a proper parent, right, with their first kid. And then they decide, okay, they can't deal with it because the kid is, it done gone too far type thing. And then it's like, now years later, when they're at a better space to be a proper parent, it's like, okay, I could be a better mom now, right? But it's like that still doesn't take away from the simple fact that you still have a child, right, that is that was neglected or that missed out on, receiving that. But it's like there's a bit of a separation here where it's just like, well, that one doesn't count. No, it does count. It does count. And this could be the thing where it's like the past kind of comes back. So the child can potentially come back and say like, oh, you did wrong by me. You did this, you did that, you did that. And that could potentially ruin a person's reputation in regards to whether this is the reputation a person builds upon themselves. And then they're met with that reality. And that shatters their reality, right? Or that the illusion that they've created, or the new reality that they created, or it just kind of puts that situation out on Front Street, where it's just like, look, you have to see what you've done. You know what I'm saying? And so with this combo here, all right, I hope I said Libra for justice, right? It's this energy of balancing those scales, righting those wrongs, right? In order to create an even playing field here when it comes down to your past and, your present and your future. You know what I'm saying? And it's not about like, oh, I'm going to go and apologize to everybody that I did wrong and stuff like that. No, like that's not it's like that's impossible. You know what I'm saying? It's more so along the lines of like the things that matter, right? So if we're in the business, what do you call it? If we're in the business world and we're trying to, we're trying to build out our own business and or we're rebranding, there's like a reset, right? And it's like everything is being rebranded or whatever. And it's like, okay, I'm gonna start fresh. I'm gonna start new, right? It's this energy here. It was like, well, the people that we kind of like scammed or, cheated out on or ran out on, right? We got to make those amends so that when we become a success and we become big, they don't come back and cancel us. And you know how cancel culture is these days, where it's just like, or it's not even just that. It's like with Twitter, Twitter, the things that people say on their Twitters, right? Like people can pull things up from like years ago. You know what I'm saying? And it's like it can completely ruin a person's career, even though they feel like they've changed, that they've grown, right? Like you see a lot of Caucasian, people who are major like stars, you know what I'm saying? And they become such a huge success. And then you dig into their past, and they said the N-word and all kinds of like derogatory words and stuff like that. And they're just like, oh, I want to say I'm sorry. I'm going to educate myself. And I've learned and I've grown. I was so ignorant back then. It's like that kind of thing. But people do it enough to the point where it becomes disingenuous. And so it's like if a person comes out of the gate, like saying like, hey, I've done some, I've handled things, mishandled things, and whatever the case may be, but I'm rebranding myself, right, with the purpose of becoming well-educated, well-rounded, a better worker, being more ethical, being more righteous, more whatever, right? And so it's like starting off on the right foot, right? And so that, like, I feel like that's the energy here. Not to say that this is the advice. I'm just saying this is the energy, okay? So if you guys don't know, I'm pregnant. So if you hear me getting winded and I'm starting to talk slowly now, that's that's what that is. And I'm anemic too, so that's another thing as well. So in the future, we have here the stars, so Aquarius energy. All right, we have the Wheel of Fortune coming through. The cards that I'm using this is called Way Home Tarot. I got this on Etsy, I think. And so, yeah. Seven of Pentacles, Seven of Cups. All right, so it feels like here, let me see something. I kind of want to, yeah. So it seems like a person is trying to move forward with something. They get an idea, or they feel like they're put in a position to kind of move, to progress or do something. And it feels really lucky with that Jupiter energy. It feels like everything that they have imagined could be accomplished, right? It really feels like that. And then they're met with the Seven of Pentacles, which is kind of like a standstill, where it seems like things are taking off, things are going so well, but then it stops, right? It slows down. So it could be like a literal kind of thing, or it could be like the way a person imagines versus what actually happens, and then it doesn't meet that person's expectations, right? And then they kind of get a bit paranoid here with the Seven of Cups. And then we have here the Judgment energy. So we're back to that Sagittarius energy, right, coming through, where we were talking about cycles that are like being repeated. So this Judgment here, it's like, okay, you're gonna have to meet this situation. You have to come face to face with this situation, deal with this situation, so we can move past this, right? And then we have here the Ten of Swords, which really just talks about an ending of a situation, where whether it's at their own hands, or through other people, right? So it's a situation where things kind of feels like it blows up, right? It becomes a bigger thing, right, than it could have been, if a person addressed the situation like in the beginning, right? And so it's that feeling, and even the aftermath, where a person like feels, some type of way, but then also too, that can kind of cause a person to overreact based off that as well, which is understandable, right? Because it's like, it kind of sucks. Like, it kind of reminds me of this energy that I'm feeling, where it's like a person lies, right? They get caught in that lie, and then they can either react a certain amount of ways. So they can start to blame other people. They can become or try to become the victim, or decide that they're going to ghost, the person. So I'm never going to talk to them again. I'm going to hide out and hope that it dies out. So that's where they take you have a lot of like influencers or people that say they're going to take a mental break, right? They'll, deactivate their account or whatever the case may be, right? Instead of saying, just taking, accepting the accountability and just moving on, right? We've seen many a times where a person had to like accept the accountability of their actions, and then, life still, moves on for them, right? But it's like, you have to accept you have to have accountability. It feels like. Okay, so it does feel like with this Ten of Swords, for some, could be this energy of being exposed or something like that, and this is just for whoever this resonates with, okay? So, not saying you will be the person that's being exposed. I'm just saying this is just the energies that I'm getting here. So whether you're being exposed, or you're the one exposing somebody, or you're around somebody who's being exposed, right? Like, this is just the energy, okay? So we're going to take a little bit of a break, and then we'll come back with the advice from Spirit. All right, so we're going to be using the Enchanted Blossoms deck to get the advice. All right, so what is the advice for Virgo? The advice for Virgo is beginnings. All right, so let's see what this says. There are new beginnings around us all the time. Anytime there is a change, there is a chance for a new creation. Anytime something passes, there is a chance to start fresh. Every day brings a new dawn, a chance to start over, and another opportunity to do things we have always wanted to do and be the person we wanted to be. Make today the birth of the person you want to be. Let go of the past. Thank it for helping you learn, grow, and start again. It doesn't matter how often you fall, just that you get up again. It's never too late for a new beginning. What new path or trait can I work on today? And what is beginning for me? And how can I help it grow? Okay, let's get a crystal/gemstone card. sorry. We got some cards that fell. Okay, so we have here obsidian, so shadows, mirrors, and amorphous. It says here, a dark and mysterious crystal obsidian reaches into the depths of our shadows, shedding light on what needs to be healed in order to move forward. Obsidian serves as a mirror, revealing our deepest truths. Obsidian's crystalline structure is amorphous, moving beyond conventional time to dip into the past, present, and future, and wielding great power to clear any obstacles. Use obsidian as a shield against psychic attacks and to ground your base chakra back to planet Earth. So Sagittarius and Saturn. You guys also had here labradorite, so transformation, magic, and imagination. So a stone of transition, labradorite assists in times of change and transformation. It expands our connection with the universe, unlocking the third eye and all the wonder that lies beyond the physical realm, as well as your magical powers. Labradorite evokes the magic we all have, reminding us to wield our power by going within and connecting to the core truths of who we are. Chase after your dreams and align yourself with the vibration of anything is possible, an energy Labradorite is all too familiar with. So we have here Leo, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Neptune, and Jupiter. Okay. And then lastly, you guys here have lazulite, so cosmic serenity and peace. The cosmic forces are at play with lazulite, bringing serenity, peace, and tranquility to anyone who crosses paths with the stone. Lazulite comes from the Arabic word lazaward, meaning sky or heaven, and referring to the sky blue color of the stone's surface. It stimulates the third eye, drawing out psychic and intuitive abilities and dispelling worry, anxiety, and stress to promote a clear state of mind. Use lazulite when you need extra strength to heal addictive habits and to give yourself that inner peace against personal demons. All right, so Gemini, Sagittarius, and Jupiter. Okay, so based off of all of this, what I'm getting here with this, it kind of goes back to what we were talking about in the beginning about a person not feeling as if they, can properly tend to the soil in order to bear fruit, the seed that they have sowed. When it comes down to the situation, it's this energy here where it's just like I said, anything is possible, but we have to let go of things, that may have happened in the past, where it's like, the universe or whoever, right? Anybody or anything may have let you down, right? And so being exposed, right, can be in that case, right, being inundated with like past memories of these kinds of instances, where it's like it is exposing an aspect of yourself, not for you to hide from and to play victim to or whatever, but to recognize, like, this is how many ways where I've allowed myself to kind of succumb to those situations and not give myself a chance, not allow myself to pull through or to push through. Whether this is like external circumstances or people or our own selves, sorry, I had to sneeze, our own selves or our own beliefs that can in a lot of ways block us from being able to obtain the things that we want to obtain. It could also be our behaviors, right? And it kind of goes back to the devil here, where it talks about attachments, right? The things that we attach ourselves to in that way, right? So let's keep going. Let's close this out with a self-care wisdoms card. All right, so what you guys have here is priorities. It says the quality of your life is determined by how you spend your time. Make sure your schedule reflects the life you want. All right, so that is all that I have for you all Virgos out there. Good luck to you all on your amazing journeys. I hope I was able to help you all in any way, shape, or form. Until next time, peace.